First of all, thank you. What's your name?
Marco Pearson.
Marco Pearson. Thank you for
Mr. Marco Pearson.
Mr. Marco Pearson. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to conduct this interview. My name is Marcus. I also go by Panta Agunyu, and I also go by Panta Oromula. However, the Gold Panther Party Media Unites is the agency that I'm conducting, that I'm using as a tool to create transparency, but also to establish a direct line to those individuals in not only in the United States of America, but also in the state of Texas, that feel that there are people that they can relate to. There are people that they feel that isn't up to the test of the testament, or we are not going to be undervalued, unestimated, or marginalized. There are individuals here in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, and all across the Texas are hard workers, are innovators, are philanthropists, are entrepreneurs, are willing to support, willing to help, and willing to transform this world and transform Texas. So that's my introduction. Once again, my name is Marcus, and I appreciate you, Marco, participating. So there's 3 questions that I always ask my volunteers, because that's what you're doing. You're volunteering right now. Your day and your time, you could be doing anything at this moment, but you decided to take this time to give your insight to the Gold Panther Party Media. So the first question is, what is your trials and tribulations of life? What created Marco?
When you ask that question, the first thing coming to my mind is, wow, it was so many factors that led to creating the man that you see in front of you right now. I guess I can start from the beginning and work my way up to now. My mother, Deborah Pearson, who grew up in a single household with 4 children. Unfortunately, she had to do it all on her own because without the absence of a father. Same time, I remember we just recently had Father's Day, right? And
yeah, it just passed last Sunday.
And I remember my mom a couple of years ago, she said, I'm your mother and father. She said, you don't have a father. And it sparked something in me, the fact that I said, man, she's absolutely right. We never had a father figure in our lives. The only thing that came close to even having a father was my uncle Ronnie Pearson. Great man. He did his best he could, trying to make sure that I received the proper ethics of what a man's supposed to be. And we're very far from the case of
yes,
now.
That's true. Ronnie was not only an amazing uncle, but he was also the only male figure that we had as decided to take that responsibility and take that role as not only an uncle, but as a father as well. He himself have 4 kids that he need to take care of as well. So how can he take care of his sister household and take care of his household at the same time? So we continue.
Yes, absolutely, because you only can do so much. And during the course of growing up, I won't say in the ghetto or poverty. My mother, any other minority at that time, she had to accept government official aid, child support, and food stamps and whatnot, right?
In other words, the government subsidies and,
yes,
and government aid and assistance
yeah,
that they give to all families who are in
need.
Poverty and need in the United States of America.
And that's the amazing thing that will make this country great in times, specifically, that do give towards those that would need it. But that individual has to do the necessary paperwork and get off their butt to get it done. Getting like even with my situation, I lacked discipline, I lacked education, and I lacked, of course, patience, because I wanted things now. I didn't want to work for it. Even though I did have what you call 9 to 5 minimum wage
part-time jobs.
Yes.
Because at this time that you're speaking of, you were 16 or 17 years old?
16, 17 years old.
Okay.
Growing up in a society that we thought that we really truly know.
So this was like the mid-90s, so between 1995 and 1997, it was during the time that you decided to take upon yourself that not only we were assisting our mother with paying bills and expenses, because you remember it was during times when we both were working since we were 14 years old. And then not only that, we've been helping our mother pay rent. You know, seemed like every year it's going up $100. So started our freshman year, we were paying her $100 a month. And then sophomore year, $200 a month. Yeah. And then senior year, $300 a month. Then I said, I'm going to decide to go ahead and get my own damn place.
Well, at that time, our mother, she was trying to teach us a sense of responsibility. Even then, she was hiding her cries at night just to make ends meet. How she would go by to support all four of us. Okay,
so let's start with when you didn't abide by her rules and her regulation in her home, and you got kicked out of the house of 4 kids.
Oh yeah, like any other rebellious child, I didn't want to follow the rules and regulations of home. So
at this time, how old were you?
At that time, I was 17.
Okay.
Well, just turned 17, not even 2-3 months ago. I went to engage in the streets, I want to say.
So when you mentioned in the streets, you were introduced to something that you weren't familiar with, and it was older individuals were those that encouraged you to do this, engage in this horrific ordeal and a life of crime.
Oh yes.
Because you was the newbie, you was the new kid on the block.
Yes.
So you straight out, you're a minor living in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, African American young man, and you was kicked out of your home, and you had to go back to somewhere, to a territory. You had to pretty much get involved in something that you weren't familiar with, but you had to survive. You had to get some money.
Yeah, survival of the fitness. When a person is pushed to their limits in the wall, they eventually will start pushing back. As any other behavior of survival. Okay,
so you got involved with the wrong crowd.
Yes.
And unfortunately, violence was unavoidable. So you engaged in the life of crime, and you were sentenced to jail, right? Yeah. To prison. Okay. Yeah. So let's start with the time when you were sitting in that courtroom at the age of 17.
Sitting in the courtroom was, at that time, really didn't understand how serious this matter is. Being a first-time offender, you may have heard these terms before, a layman of the law doesn't matter in the state of Texas. Whether you rich or poor, the judicial system, if they want you, they're going to get you. In that experience, we didn't know. My family, we wasn't
we wasn't familiar with the judicial system nor the law of the land in the state of Texas. Everyone was oblivious to even remotely how to even hire an attorney. No one didn't know what to do.
We didn't know nothing. And in that type of situation, we only can go for what people who've been there and trust ourselves in the system that they will have our favor, but of course that was not the case.
Okay. I remember Mom, going out to different, was it Lucer's building, and she was trying to meet with different attorneys, and they tried to assign you a court-appointed attorney, but they actually felt as if it's best, it would serve you better if we hire an attorney. Unfortunately, this attorney is dead. He died from cancer, along with a lot of other people who lives in the United States of America, came subjective to that big C word, but I'm getting off the subject. However, he did what he can within reason, but however, it wasn't enough. And that judge see that you was a young black man who committed armed robbery in the state of Texas. And how much time did they sentence you at the age 17?
It sentenced me to 35 years.
35 years in prison, a 17-year-old African-American man in Dallas, Texas.
At that time, you, on the other shoes, person on the other feet, you see individuals who play in society and parasite society, and you do not think any factors or what took place to allow this man or woman to commit such crimes against society just for survival, not for this personal financial gain. Not to justify it, no, put that out there. By no means I'm speaking that, hey, I gratify what I've done. I'm totally heartbroken and still feel ill towards all of that. But even before that, I have learned so much more. Again, I cannot put 20 years of experience in just a 5-minute conversation. It's just no way.
Yeah, that's true. So look, Mr. Pearson, I do appreciate you answering the first question. So the second question is, what's your perspective on life now?
My perspective on life now is beautiful. Coming from where I came from to today's society, no such thing as Facebook, MySpace, Google, all this technology. Many men, even to this day, that I met during the course of my incarceration, they a 8-track. Some of you people who may be looking at this interview don't know what an 8-track may be, but there was no such thing a flat screen TV or a cell phone when these men were in confinement. A record player was still the hottest thing going. So I was afraid of technology. I was afraid that no way I know how to use a phone, for example.
Yeah, a smartphone.
A smartphone.
And everything
now.
When
they first advertised these things here.
Bluetooth.
Like, no way people is going to catch up on this. But I was wrong, of course. This is people, you get access to the world.
Yeah, that's their lifeline now.
Lifeline.
All Americans can live without it.
Yeah, exactly. And I said I would never be texting. And guess what? I text. But that was a hilarious of technology. But what I see myself now coming from the past, with the man you see in front of you now, a big change.
Okay, so let's take it back a little bit. You were sentenced 35 years in prison, and obviously you made parole. So how long you been out of incarceration?
I've been home for a month. Going on, 1 year in a month.
1 year in a month since you've been released from prison on good behavior. So let's talk about what have you accomplished when you were in jail. So I know that I'm looking around your residence. I know you not only that you was able to earn your high school diploma, you got 2 associate's degree and you have a bachelor's degree, and you earned all those certificates and diplomas while being incarcerated in this state prison.
Yes, I remember when I was 20 years old, and I didn't have a GED. Okay, I got locked up my senior year in high school. And one old school I met in prison named Detroit Red, we call him. He informed me, he said, youngster, you either go do time or time is going to do you.
Okay.
And that stuck with me, hell, even to now.
To this day.
Yeah.
And, I'm sorry, I know that I'm intervening and everything. However, so I'm just commending you. Thank you so much for not wasting your time locked up in Texas prisons. You used those years to catapult yourself, to elevate yourself, not only spiritually but academically. So a lot of people who get released from prison don't even have a high school diploma, so they come back onto the society and upon these streets and become subjective to the exact same thing that got them incarcerated to begin with, because they didn't train themselves mentally. They didn't train themselves physically as well.
Yeah. And also, not only just mentally, physically, but also spiritually as well too. We cannot leave that out.
Okay, so you've been out of jail for a year and a few months now, and since then you also accomplished not one but 2 jobs. You managed to get your driver's license. You managed to get a credit card. You managed to get all of the necessary
legal credentials, I call them, in order to make means in this society. Follow rules and regulations. Coming out into this, I call it the new world. Yes, it required to have all the legal documentations. Things
and they put you on these restraints. So let's talk about those restraints that they put you on. Even though that year of being free, a year and a month of being free among society here, let's talk about the technology that they have.
Yes.
What I call them shackles. So go ahead and please let the audience know what constraints they put on you. Can you please show us?
Yes. The order part of my parole stimulation required me to make sure to be also monitor society. This is called a GPS LED monitor. It goes on the ankle. You have like 3.
I'm going to zoom into that right now. So go ahead and raise your leg up for me, please.
You have like 3 different versions. This is.
I see it. I'm zooming back out now.
Okay.
So that's a leg monitor.
Yes.
And that tracks, it's a GPS system, and they can track you anywhere in the state of Texas, anywhere in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Tell me about this other machine that they have too, please.
This here is the base unit of the GPS system that goes on our waist. It tracks your everyday movements from morning to night, where you're going to work, where you're going to out.
I'm going to zoom into that right now. So a lot of the new recently released inmates, who are those on parole, they assign them to these machines, these ankle mount monitors, and these types of technology, and it tracks their movements, and they have to. It's a phone as well, right?
Yeah, it's a phone. The unit. I'm going to be the first to say that I thank Windham Department of Education, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice as well, for having the opportunity to return back to society under restraints, yes, and it was a contract that has been paid in full.
Yes, but you still currently on parole right now, because you had to, unfortunately, you still had to, even though you served, how many years exactly you served?
I served 18 years and 9 months.
18 years and 9 months in prison, and how old are you right now?
I'm now 37 years old.
You're 37 years old now, and your birthday is in the next 6 months. You're about to be 38. So you literally damn near spent half your life incarcerated in prison since you were 17 years old for armed robbery in the state of Texas.
Yes.
And look at all the accomplishments that you did in a short while, just being released from prison just a little over a year ago now.
Yes, I've obtained 2 jobs, employment, supervisor in one position. I just told myself I cannot be lazy. I want to take that same energy from while I was incarcerated and compare it and apply it to today's society.
So society called recently, today, Texas called inmates sexual predators, super predators. They are not capable of speech. They're not capable of learning. They're not capable of conforming to everyday society, you, my brother, prove them wrong 100%. So what would you say to the state, local, and federal government about inmates who serve more than half their lives in prison, and they saying that they cannot accomplish anything? Is that a lie?
Absolutely. Look at me. I only been home a year now, and but been incarcerated almost 20 years of my life. And went to today's society with all the technical mojo in the world. I'm still able to cope with society. And
you're able to have a relationship too as well?
Oh yeah, relationship. I was recently engaged to a young lady.
Just knowing that you're still capable of having a relationship is enough. You don't have to get too much personal.
Thank you.
In depth. You're personal now, but you don't need to get too much personal, because man, this is an accomplishment. This is amazing. You know. So the question number 3, because once again I know that I can interview you for 3 days, and it still won't be enough to fill in your trials and tribulations of life and what your perspective of life this consists of. So this question 3 is, you already answered that too. What's your opinion about state, local, and federal government? And you already mentioned that you've been conformed. You also mentioned that you don't condone what you have done. You were completely against crime, and you're not inciting crime in any kind of way. You are actually what would be your message to the young men and the young women out there who are lost, like you were at the age 16, age 17? What can you tell them?
Don't give up. You're not alone. Your situation, your circumstance at this moment is no different from the next man or woman who's going through what they're going through. Whether it's mentally, physically, even spiritual battles you have in you. You have millionaires who's not happy, who's spiritually unbalanced, identity crisis, worry about just stress levels, period, circumstances that you really don't have no control over. Just continue keeping your head up. You walking amongst the living. Don't need to be thinking about the dead. Get that dead mindset out your mind right now. You know, it's still a struggle. You will always struggle for the rest of your life, as long as you're breathing. You struggle to get something to eat. When you're hungry, what you do? You go get something to eat. When you're thirsty, what you do? You get some type of beverage. That's a struggle within you. You take care of the instant gratification. It's just patience and discipline, the base of what it is. Again,
what kind of advice would you give that 17-year-old Marco, knowing the wisdom that you have today, the experiences in life that you endure, the education, the life, the experiences? What would you say to that 17-year-old Marco now? In the past?
Thank you. I'm getting kind of emotional this thing, man. I never had that when I asked that question before. It was so much could have been different, but I am appreciative of what the circumstance I went through in the past and what I have right now. My whole perspective of life, maturity. I'm so up there where I have high expectations on myself. Okay. I want to do better. I want to continue doing better. I have zero tolerance. Failure is not an option with me. I'm too old. I'm getting older. I'm a realist, and I just need to continue moving forward. And
so you would tell your 17-year-old, you start off by saying thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you for.
Thank you, because it wasn't from the mindset I had then when I was 17. I was reckless. I was uneducated. I really didn't know a purpose, a sense of purpose.
So you would take yourself and tell yourself what to expect, and how to be more humble, be more appreciative, and you would deter yourself.
Yeah, I would
from making those mistakes.
Man, if I had a time machine, Back to the Future, I would go back and let Marco Pearson know, hey, this is you 20 years in the future. I would totally reroute all type of things right now of my life.
But if knowing that if we had both parents in our household, would things would have been different for us?
Yeah and nay. Because we you have you have parents, children now growing up with both parents, and still a menace to society, still engaged in unwanted factors that.
And you're right. And there's a lot of young mothers are still having kids.
However, statistically, it's been proven that having both parents, a child has 99% chance of success. It's up there. But at the same time, it's many more things that you take consideration, social factors, because you can have both parents, but parents may be abusive, or be addicted to drugs or alcoholism.
Yeah, that's what's happening today in society now.
Texting, bullying, and things of this nature. It's so many I call it social factors and economics.
But you can see yourself as an activist or someone as a social worker to assist and instill wisdom and quality in these lost souls today, these young men and young women, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh man! Every time I have opportunity, I speak to a lot of young. I'm a supervisor as well at the company I work for, and it has a lot of youngsters there, and I encourage them to get their license. I encourage them to obtain their education. As many of them, I was surprised, still don't have no GED. I don't know how they was able to work where they work.
So how frustrating that is that at the age of 37 now, you see that a lot of men and a lot of young men, a lot of young women who lives in Texas right now, that in the 21st century, 2017, going down the same route you went at the age 17.
Wow, it was very disheartening, because I remember when I was 16, I was wearing my pants below my wrist, ankles as well too, down there, and to see that cultural fad still exists today. I didn't think that. I wasn't aware that that this culture now would still exist of the same culture in the past. Because it's a perfect example showing that society, we are not doing our jobs.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you for this interview, and I appreciate you participating with the Gold Panther Party Media. And being your brother, I love you very much, and I'm proud of you too. Good job.